The story begins in a quiet village in Essex, England. Nestled among rolling fields, the Borley Rectory was once a simple, unassuming house. But over time, it gained a reputation that would make it infamous across the country. People began to whisper about strange noises in the night, unexplained shadows moving across the walls, and a sense that the house itself was alive in a sinister way. By the early 20th century, Borley Rectory had earned the chilling title of the most haunted house in England. Imagine standing in the middle of this old, creaking building. The floorboards groan beneath your feet even when no one is there. Doors open on their own, and a sudden coldness brushes past you as though invisible hands were reaching out. This was the daily reality for anyone who dared to live or work at Borley Rectory. People reported seeing ghostly figures drifting through hallways, the faint outline of a nun moving silently, her face pale and expressionless. And it wasn't just fleeting glimpses. These apparitions seemed real, solid enough to cast shadows and cause fear that lingered long after the sightings. The first serious reports of paranormal activity at Borley Rectory began in the late 19th century, but it was during the 1920s and 1930s that the house captured national attention. The Reverend Lionel Foyster, who moved in with his wife Marianne, was among the earliest residents to experience these terrifying events firsthand. Footsteps echoed through empty corridors at night. Heavy objects, such as furniture and vases, would topple without explanation. Marianne wrote in her diary about hearing a voice call her name when she was alone, and seeing walls smeared with mysterious handprints that vanished when she tried to clean them. It was a life ruled by fear, and the family grew increasingly desperate for answers. Word spread, and soon professional investigators were drawn to Borley Rectory. Among them, the most famous was Harry Price, a renowned psychical researcher. Price visited the rectory multiple times, documenting every reported sighting and phenomenon. His reports detailed moving furniture, ringing bells with no source, and even letters that appeared to be written by spirits. According to Price, one of the most unnerving phenomena was a ghostly nun who seemed to appear at random, often at the top of the staircase. Witnesses described her as pale, dressed in black, her eyes dark and hollow, and she seemed to move without making a sound. The sheer presence of this figure terrified all who encountered her. But the mystery of Borley Rectory didn't stop at visual hauntings. People reported being pushed, touched, or even grabbed by invisible forces. Objects flew through the air, and unexplained fires would break out in certain rooms. The Foysters experienced some of these events daily, and many believed that the house itself was cursed. Some historians later traced these stories back to earlier events on the property. Borley Rectory had been built on the site of a much older rectory, and rumors suggested that a Benedictine monastery once stood nearby. Some claim that monks who had lived there in centuries past may have left behind a restless presence. Others whispered of tragic love stories and mysterious deaths, with angry spirits refusing to leave the land. Visitors reported the most unsettling experiences during the dead of night. Staff members who stayed in the house would wake to find strange messages scrawled across walls, often in apparent blood or soot. Candles and lanterns would be extinguished for no reason, leaving them shivering in the darkness. One housekeeper swore that she saw a ghostly figure of a man standing over her bed, watching silently. She said he had hollow eyes and a face twisted in sorrow or rage, though she could never say which. People who encountered this presence often described a feeling of overwhelming dread, as if the very air in the room had become thick and heavy. Over the years, Borley Rectory attracted countless journalists, spiritualists, and curious thrill seekers. Each arrived hoping to witness the unexplained firsthand, and many claimed they did. One visitor reported hearing heavy footsteps above him in an empty room, accompanied by a chilling moan. Another described seeing furniture levitate in broad daylight, as if the objects were controlled by some invisible puppeteer. Even skeptics admitted that the energy in the house was oppressive, almost palpable, making it difficult to remain calm. Harry Price's investigations were the most thorough, and he attempted to separate fact from fiction. He spent months documenting events, interviewing residents, and photographing supposed manifestations. One of the most famous incidents involved a series of mysterious letters, allegedly from a ghost. The letters were often scrawled with warnings or threats, written in a handwriting that matched no living person in the house. Some messages spoke of doom, while others were cryptic, suggesting knowledge of events yet to occur. Price theorized that these letters were produced by poltergeist activity, a manifestation of restless spirits, but he could never definitively explain their origin. Visual evidence, while limited by today's standards, also played a role in the legend. Photographs from the rectory occasionally showed blurred, shadowy figures hovering in the background. In some images, objects seemed to move in midair, and doors appeared open or closed against the laws of physics. To modern eyes, these might be dismissed as tricks of light or old photographic artifacts, but for those who experienced them at the time, they were terrifyingly real. The activity at Borley Rectory did not discriminate. Visitors, staff, clergy, and investigators alike felt its presence. Children in the village spoke of hearing wailing from the house late at night, and neighbors reported seeing strange lights flickering behind boarded-up windows. Even the local police, when called to investigate disturbances, reported odd phenomena they could not explain. One officer described a sensation of being watched and hearing footsteps echo in a hallway when no one was present. The house seemed to have a life of its own, and its influence spread beyond its walls. Over time, the Borley Rectory became a symbol of paranormal fascination and fear. Newspapers published sensational stories, and the public was captivated by the idea that such a concentrated hotspot of supernatural activity could exist in rural England. Skeptics argued that the events were exaggerated or even fabricated, pointing to the attention and fame the stories brought to Price and other investigators. Yet even the most critical accounts could not fully dismiss the strange experiences reported by those who lived and worked there. In 1939, a fire destroyed much of the rectory, leaving only ruins. Some saw this as a fitting end, a dramatic conclusion to decades of terror. Yet stories of haunting persisted. Even after the building was gone, visitors claimed to feel a lingering presence. Locals reported hearing footsteps where there were no floors and seeing figures in the ruins that vanished when approached. It seemed that whatever had inhabited Borley Rectory refused to leave, bound to the land in a way that defied explanation. The legend of Borley Rectory has endured for decades. It has inspired countless books, documentaries, and television specials, all exploring the dark mysteries that once unfolded within its walls. The combination of unexplained phenomena, tragic history, and human fear created a story that continues to fascinate and terrify. People are drawn to it not just for the thrill, but for the sense that the world is larger and stranger than we can understand, that some forces exist just beyond the edge of perception. Even today, the ruins of Borley Rectory are a destination for those seeking a brush with the unknown. Paranormal enthusiasts and tourists alike visit, cameras and recorders in hand, hoping to capture a glimpse of what so many before them had seen. Some report feeling cold spots, sudden unease, or hearing faint whispers carried by the wind. Whether it is the echo of past events, the power of human imagination, or something more supernatural, Borley Rectory remains an enduring symbol of fear and fascination. As you consider the story of Borley Rectory, imagine yourself walking through those crumbling hallways, the wind moaning through broken windows, shadows flickering at the edge of your vision. The house may be gone, but the legend persists, reminding us that some places hold memories and energies that refuse to fade. It stands as a testament to the power of fear, history, and the unknown, and perhaps as a warning. Some houses are better left undisturbed. If you've ever wondered whether ghosts are real, Borley Rectory offers one of the most compelling cases. The combination of eyewitness accounts, physical evidence, and ongoing mystery makes it a story that will continue to captivate anyone who dares to explore the edges of the supernatural. So the next time you hear unexplained footsteps or see shadows moving in the corner of your eye, think of Borley Rectory. Remember that somewhere in England, a house once stood that terrified everyone who entered it, and perhaps still holds a presence you cannot see, but can feel. If you want to dive deeper into true horror stories like this one, and explore mysteries that defy explanation, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. There are countless stories waiting to be told, each more chilling than the last. Don't miss the chance to experience them all, from the comfort of your own home, if you dare.